Good morning. Ooh, good morning. It has been a minute, hasn't it? Uh-huh. And that's okay. Things can be a minute and then not a minute, right? So good morning. I should probably check my own schedule because this was funny. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. Wait, here we go. Let me just do this and do this and do this. Saturday, Thursday, July 31st, 7 a.m. TikTok Live. Yes, so good morning. This, I will say, for me anyway, is one of the powers of one of the things I talk about when we're doing like decluttering coaching. I just wanted to say this. I was thinking about it as I was grabbing my big old thing of water. Good morning, Shannon, and Jen and Rosa and Jess. The power of writing stuff down and the power of making, I guess if I was going to use fancy words, I'd say like a social contract, but like telling people you're going to do stuff and writing it down helps you show up. I will trust me. I've had a busy number of past few days, and if I hadn't written down or promised somebody that I was going to do a TikTok Live at 7 a.m. on Thursday, July 31st, 2025, I will tell you, I'd still be in bed. I'd probably be scrolling on TikTok, as I like to do, and maybe you like to do too. But writing it down on my own calendar reminded me to do it. Writing it down where other people can see it, where I say, hey, I'm going to show up then. It's pretty powerful. At least for me, it's literally one of the tools that I use to get myself going and to do things that if I just kind of, left to my own devices, I probably would, as the one of the Pet Shop Boys would say. So I just wanted to mention that right off the bat, as I too am waking up myself. So good morning, Becky. Nice to see you. Yeah, it has been a few days. I was off the digital grid from Sunday to today. Had a lot of fun. Recovering from it, hence the giant glass of water. Definitely did not drink enough water while I was traveling. Always good, to me anyways, to get back in the New York groove, as Ace Frehley would say. Good morning, Spreading Sunshine. Nice to see you. For those of you who are just meeting me, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. It was a dramatic pause, not a what is it called, but it could be. I'm here to help you with your clutter, with the clutter in your home, the clutter in your head, the clutter in your heart, kind of calming it all down. And instead of being overwhelmed and freaking out, being like, you know what? I got this. I can do it. And that feeling of going from overwhelm to calming down and saying I can do it and then doing it is a lovely feeling. It is a lovely feeling. Excuse me, I'm just going to get myself a little bit more comfortable here, and I hope you do too. I hope you do too, because I'm going to be here. Now that I've shown up and you're here, I'm going to be here for the next hour on TikTok. So if you have any questions about how to declutter, good morning, Pam Stone from Maryland. And hey, I saw Kat Roby joined. Nice to see you. Early for some folks. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Not really on the coast. I'm in Pennsylvania, but close enough to the Jersey Shore and the Delaware beaches that I'm not too claustrophobic. But yeah, I'm here. I just show up live and as a decluttering life coach, and I am here to remind you that if you're struggling with something, there's help out there. Yeah, see, Kat Roby, like I was thinking it was early for me, and I knew that you were in a different time zone. Arizona, maybe? Not to be like nosy or anything. 4 a.m. Good on ya. I Loves Bears All Gifts says, I've been writing down the clutter in my head. It can be helpful. There we go. Ooh, Paula Fancy Like That Wreath, Southern California. Also wicked early for you too, huh? Yeah, Becky, 4 a.m., huh? Kat Roby does this wonderful thing. So Kat and I have never met in real life. She shows up in the comments and I show up doing my live. And Kat really uses the time that I show up as a way to help her get her clutter kind of dealing with it under control, whatever you want to say. So she's going to clear her email And she's written it down and she shared it with us all. She's going to put away her laundry. Awesome. Now, Cheryl Ann W., 5 a.m. in New Mexico. That's wicked early as well. Honestly, that's one of the reasons I'm not drinking my standard cup of tea right now is I may go back to bed after this, you know. Now, Pam says, struggling getting started, I find myself avoiding, but you motivate me. What I would love if you would do, this is something, okay. Oh my goodness, you haven't got to bed yet, you're working. Paula, I hope you get some sleep. There we go. Laura Gibbon Voorhees, nice to see you. Hope you had some great travels. We did. I actually went and it was only last Saturday, and this Saturday we're doing another notebook party where I share with you like my notebook process. And yesterday when we came home, I brought my travel journal, my road trip, memories journal of every day. I brought this with me when we were traveling, but then I forgot a pen. And then I didn't want to use the pen in the hotel room because it was yellow ink and whatever, blue ink. But I did. I had a lot of nice, fun things happen. Saw some friends. Saw Dave Grohl. He was at dinner across from us. That was a surprise. Boston Sports Girl, good morning. Yeah. What I want to go back to, though, this is a really good point that I think would help folks. And this reminds me of when I used to look at magazines and be like, oh my God, I love that room. Like decorating ideas and style ideas is almost like a vision board. Or like I used to do a vision board. I didn't want a big like piece of poster board, but I would do it in a book. I still have them over there. I would cut things out of magazines of stuff that I wanted or rooms that I thought were cool. But look at those things again and really get specific. What specifically do you like about those things? Now, I'm not going to go into like decorating and stuff, but that idea of being, something works for you and then getting a layer deeper and say, what is it? So, Pam Stone, I am honored. I'm flattered that you say that I motivate you. But I don't want you only motivated when I show up, because I'm not going to show up all the time, especially August. So tomorrow, Friday, is August 1st. What? I am gone for a week, and then I'm back. Like, I leave on the 5th, I think it is, for almost a week. Then I come back. Then I'm gone for 2 weeks. Then I come back, and then Holy Mother of God, it's going to be September. So if you are waiting for me in order to get your motivation, it'd be like, and I use the road trip metaphor a lot. It'd be like only driving your car forward on the days that I show up. I don't want that for you. It will take so long for you. If you rely on me as your motivator, and only get motivated when I'm here, I'm not doing a good job as a coach. So what I would say, Pam Stone, is, and you can do this during this live or any of the, I don't even know how many videos I now have on my YouTube channel. Let me check, because it's been a while since I kind of clocked in. 792 videos. Pick one of those and get curious about what is it about what I do, how I do it, that is motivating to you. And see what you can do to replicate that in your own world. Okay? So, yeah. Love it. Because I'll be honest with you, there are coaches out there. Now, when I have lived a life of, many jobs and done a variety of things and been cluttered. And when I hit about 50, it was way before this, but I used turning 50 as an excuse to say, I really want to get my poop in a scoop, because there's some stuff, and that's a phrase I got from a coach that I listened to. And I really realized that I had gotten all the way I could to doing things with the skills that I had. But I wasn't happy where I was. So I said, there are people out there who say they can help me, so let me find somebody who can help me. Now, I say this, I mean like reading books and listening to podcasts and videos or whatever was available at the time. And there were some people, like most of the info was helpful, but it really depended upon somebody that I connected with, and then I could start to embody what they were doing. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Traveled with your husband last month and my only pen had dried up. Yeah. So I'm going to literally, one of the pens that I like to use, I'm going to put it in that little bag that I have that I bring with me. And Ellen, yeah, long time no see for you. For me too. You know? I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees did some good decluttering. Your son took the bed, blanket chest, and many Lego set boxes. Yay. Love it. Yay. Alrighty. Jojo's asking strategies for medicine decluttering. Okay. Strategy. Here's a funny thing. Yay. Good stuff, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Wait, what? Daughter decluttered boxes of textbooks and Hubs took them to the donation yesterday. And then you wrote, I am nothing. I know that was a typo. I know that was a typo. So please elaborate. You are something. Okay. So here's a fun thing. Last night when we got home from the beach, we were down there for a number of days. My husband had some gigs. We came back wicked tired. He had some stuff to do. And we were reminded that we were invited to this kind of pop-up that a friend was doing. So one of the people at our table, he was kind of a networker and he was getting people to talk about what they were doing. And I was mentioning that I'm a decluttering life coach. And the guy was like, well, isn't it different for everybody? And I was like, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Okay? So Jojo, when you're asking about medicine decluttering, I'm going to give you the framework for decluttering anything. Okay? So as we just talked about, and I'll do it in a minute or so, because grab a pen, everybody, write this stuff down. As I've said many times over, and saying something and repeating it makes it happen, is... okay, I love this moment so much better. I'm going to interrupt myself because I just want to share with you what Laura said. And in case you aren't watching the comments like I do, she mistyped. She says, I am noticing. Notice the difference between the word noticing and nothing. Notice the difference between your words you use. That's part of it. I am noticing that when I am tired or busy, I tend not to put things away where they belong. That adds to the surface clutter. Right. So if you notice that, noticing gives you not necessarily the responsibility, but you have a choice. You have a choice. And this is how I like to think of it, is you can notice it and choose to let that be. But when you notice it, you acknowledge it and then say, okay, I'll deal with it tomorrow. Erin says the same thing. And nice to see you, Erin. What I would suggest is, instead of feeling bad about that, learn to feel okay about that. Be gentle with yourself. I've done that. I know it's my job to empty out the dishwasher, but if I am tired and exhausted at the end of the day and just beat, I will say to my husband, I realize that that's there. I don't even want to do that now, but I'll do it in the morning. And own it. Own it. Be okay with it. And then, or you could say, I realize that when I'm tired, I don't put things away, but maybe instead of putting everything away, maybe I will buck that trend and I will put one thing away when I'm tired. And I'll see how that feels. You know, I could conceivably open up the dishwasher and just put away the silverware. So chunking it down, that's a thing, okay? So notice, though, and this is great, this is kind of a lovely lead in to me giving you the template that I use to help myself and to help my clients and to help you declutter, okay? Does everybody have their notebook or anything to write down on that's of a decent size? Don't try to do it on a Post-it. You're going to run out of You're going to run out of space. Get your pen. And this is what I would write down. This is what I'm going to play along at home because I write, and I want you to write it so you can read it, okay? First thing I want you to say is physical. I want to get physical. Oh, okay. And this is what I will put in quotes on mine, little air quotes I'm going to write down. From the crown on down, okay? And we will walk through this process from the crown on down. Okay, now what does that mean? As you're writing, I can just talk. It means before you do anything in the morning and throughout the day in every part, check in with how you are feeling physically. From your crown, the crown of your head, on down to the bottom of your toes. How are you feeling physically? If you're not feeling good, notice that and say to yourself, okay, what can I do right now to make myself feel better? And better more long term, for example. Now, for example, as I'm saying, I decided, because it's so early and I may go back and rest or go back to bed after this, frankly, I'm just being honest. I decided not to drink tea because tea will give me that kind of that sugar spike, that caffeine spike, and then I'll have a crash. But I know if I drink some water, so everybody drink water, and here's a fun thing that we like to play here when I do these Destination Decluttered TikTok lives. So feel free to play along at home. Have you ever watched a TV show or a debate or somebody giving a speech and a certain word tends to come up a lot and you would like do a shot? Well, we do that, but I'm not about to kill our livers and give us alcohol problems. Okay, so we drink shots of water here. And what I like to say is, I know I repeat myself because repetition is a form of teaching. If you hear it, you begin to absorb it. So if pick a word, pick a card, any card, pick a word, any word you think I'm gonna repeat. But man, if you want to get hydrated this morning, every time I say the word down or notice, but down right now is going to get you hydrated within like 5 minutes. Okay. So notice I said physical, from the crown on down. Doing something to make you feel okay, to make you feel better. The second thing to do, and this is definitely the steps to decluttering. You may be like, wait, what? I was talking about my medicine cabinet. Second one is going to be nervous system, I guess I'll call it. So I'm writing that down. So 1 was physical. Step 2 is nervous system. And what I call that one down is kind of is like calm down, C-A-L-M, calm down. I swear you just heard my Boston accent, like I said, that calm down, Johnny. God, where's my pocketbook? Calm down, and then I call this one kind of all the downs. Now when I'm writing this down, I am putting an asterisk next to it. All the downs. Okay, so what are all the downs? It's like a bushel basket full of breathing down till you fill your lungs. Expand your lungs like a balloon, and then slow down how you exhale. It's instead of shoulders up, it's showing down. Yeah, Mimi, I don't mean to drown you, but man, you're going to be a lot more regular today, okay? You don't have to do all the downs, but anytime you hear it. Shoulders down. Sit down. Quiet down. Quiet down your environment. Quiet down the voices in your head. I like to call them my co-pilot and backseat driver. Quiet down your backseat driver. Shh. Quiet down your environment. Shutting a window, shutting a door, turning off things. One of the downs actually is decluttering does help you calm down because you don't have as much visual clutter. Okay? So calming down, slowing down, breathing down, relaxing down, sitting down, feet down on the ground, settling down. I was thinking about that the other day. I have this, it's not really a snow dome, but you know, when you're in a panic, when you have that feeling of that thought in your head that causes a panic feeling of, I don't know how to do this, it can feel like this, right? Can you see that? It's all kind of shaked up. What we want to do is we want to slow down. We want to quiet down. We don't want to be moving all around. Sit down. Quiet down. Habit Elementary, nice to see you. Ellie, nice to see you. Slow down. Notice how I'm also quieting down the voice that I'm using when I'm talking to you. I'm using a softer tone. I'm also kind of lowering the volume. The volume is down. Again, all these downs. Yeah, seriously. Aren't you glad you're not doing shots during this part? But notice, even as I say that, the chaotic feeling in this little Palm Springsy guy thing is less chaotic and just a little bit more, calmed down. Now, when you calm down, I have decided in my process, the next one down is going to be writing down, okay? Write down. And then I'll get to number 4 really quickly. Now, write down, and I'm not trying to be an infomercial. I'm just saying on Saturday, we have a notebook party where we're going to go in depth to the notebook process that I use. It's wicked easy, but I want to do it in real time with you so you leave the training kind of party with a book full of notes of things to do like you're doing now, but also like a map of what the next week or so looks like. And then the biggest one is probably going to be, once you've quieted down and sat down and calmed down and written down some stuff, is, and this is where I will put another asterisk again, chunking it down. Chunk down. What does chunk down mean? Well, it means taking something that's big and making it smaller. It means biting down on a piece of food to make it so it's a bite. It means looking at, instead of an entire house of overwhelm, you chunk it down into rooms. From a room, you chunk it down to a surface. You make things smaller so that the part of your brain, and you start to categorize it. The other one too, chunk, also I want you to think of category, okay? Chunk things down into categories and make it smaller so that you calm down that voice in your head that says, I can't do this, I don't know how to do it. That you make whatever the first step is to get you started decluttering, it is so small and so simple that you feel kind of like a goofball if you don't start. Like you're like, oh, well, I can do that. I can do that. And then you do it. So notice there are 4 steps, and they could take a fraction of time. Definitely took me longer to explain them. Okay? So yeah, notice. Quiet down, says Ms. Turbo. I hate background music. Yeah, I like it sometimes, and other times I find it distracting. Some people don't, though. Some people really need kind of some audio to, as I like to say, kind of run interference to interfere with the audio in their head so they don't hear the unhelpful voices or the constant chatter from the back seat. See, I told you I talk in like a car metaphor all the time. Okay? So what I say is those are the 4 steps. So your medicine, chunking down your medicine. Chunking down your medicine is going to be putting it into categories. Categories such as, these are medicines for my stomach. These are medicines for when I get a cold. These are medicines for when I have a headache. These are medicines that are prescription. These are medicines that are over the counter. So notice you can totally chunk things down to smaller bits so you feel less overwhelmed and you feel more like, well, I can do this part. Okay? Now, I love it because German Maid is saying, and this is another thing too, so I'd be writing this down, people. I would be. So when I coach, and I'm sharing this with you, 3 layers of clutter in this order from shallow to deep. Surface clutter, the most shallow. Stored clutter, kind of in the middle. Sentimental clutter, the deepest. Now German Maid, because they've been listening to me before, says surface and stored clutter, I have to listen to an audiobook or Beth. Now she says Beth because it could be a live here, but I love it when people kind of participate in the lives. You can listen to a video like a podcast, and we've got, as I said, 792 of them to choose from, so you get plenty. But she says surface and stored clutter. I have to listen to an audiobook or Beth because it keeps my mind occupied so I don't stray. Okay? So notice that. Keeping your mind occupied. So you're busy thinking one thing while you're doing maybe the automatic stuff. Good morning, Mel, and good morning, Mama Pepper, and everybody else who's tuned in. And if you don't know me, Beth Destination Decluttering Life Coach at your service. So there is decluttering that you know how to do, and there's decluttering you don't yet know how to do. Now, the stuff you know how to do may not be particularly exciting. It's probably, oh my God, this again. Laundry, dishes, kitchen table, countertops, stuff that you've dumped somewhere. When we have that stuff that comes up again, we can easily be like the soundtrack of decluttering this, and it can be a really crabby soundtrack. Like, God, I hate doing this. I'm always doing laundry. Why am I always doing laundry? Jeez Louise. Can't we ever blah, blah, blah. Like, who wants to be in a car if that's what the person in the car is always talking about? Do you want to be in a car like that? You know, pretend you're an Uber driver. What kind of passenger would you want? Somebody who gets into your car and does nothing but complain and bitch about stuff? Or somebody that shows up and is like, hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for picking me up. Oh my gosh, it's so comfortable in here. I love the air conditioning. It's so hot out there in Las Vegas. Thank you for picking me up so quickly. Oh my gosh, your car is so clean. This is great. Oh, which kind of person would you like to hang out with? You know? So yeah, the no complaints. So this is why I say, and this is probably the first time I've ever thought of it for Uber drivers, but I don't know why it came to my brain, but my brain is a creative, my body is a wonderland, and so is my brain. And I just offer to you, you've got two voices in your head, people, two voices. You are the driver in the car, but you have two voices, and each one of them is a passenger. You've got your backseat driver, which is the crabby complainer, and you have your co-pilot. Now, your co-pilot is a cool voice. It's the voice of encouragement. It's the voice of courage. It's the voice of love. It's the voice of creativity and the voice of, I can figure this out. I've got this. We can do this together. I know what we can do. Kind of like that awesome, like the best friend, you know, in the rom-coms. There's always like the wacky sidekick, okay? You have both of those in your head and in your life and in your body. However, in this society and in our brains and the way we're wired, ever heard the term, the squeaky wheel gets the grease? Yeah, the squeaky wheel is usually the one grabbing the microphone. Here, give me that. Like there's a karaoke going on and it grabs the microphone and is like, let me tell you about all the crappy things. And when I say is, and if notice was your word, listen up, spuds, is you have a choice. You have a choice. When you are made aware of your choices, then you realize that you can choose to continue doing exactly what you're doing. Shannon Retrograde, thank you for welcome back. You can choose to continue doing what you're doing. Go for it. Or you can choose to do something different. And when I say do something, think something different. Interrupt, disrupt, quiet down the backseat driver that maybe before was like a constant 24/7 monologue in the backseat of how things are crappy. That you can choose to quiet them down. And how you can quiet down the backseat driver, the unhelpful, the discouraging, the fearful, is to do what I just said earlier. Check yourself physically. Calm down your nervous system. Write down the stuff that they're saying so you get it out of you and you see what it is. Now, Debbie says listening to music helps me, and listening to music can definitely help. Kind of, what is it? Music, has powers to calm the savage beast, something like that. I swear, I'm getting a picture of like a Tarzan movie from Channel 56. But you can choose to do something else, people. And I'm here when you say, I want to choose to do something else, but I don't know what it is. Boom. When you say, I'm ready and I want to try something else, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And technically, the teacher has been there the whole time, but they're just sitting there waiting for you to say, hey, I need some help, please. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not think it is a failing of yours as a person to not be able to do everything on your own. That is a crock. Every single person on the planet is interdependent on somebody else. No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man's joys is joys to me. Each man's grief is my own. I think I read fifth grade I learned that song, and it's still sticking with me. So here I am. I'm going to rock you like a hurricane, okay? So I say to you, how can I help you today? Now notice I say today, and yet something that you did yesterday caused you to be cluttered. Do something today so that your tomorrow or just your future is going to be, seriously, a minute from now, 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now. What could you do now? There's things you could do on your own right now. You could putter and declutter. You could put me on in the background and just have me kind of keeping you company, right now. You could putter and declutter. You could put me on in the background and just have me kind of keeping you company, as we say, kind of creating that, interference to disrupt whatever's going on in your brain and replace it. Not just stuff like, I guess I'll go to weight loss. Like if you stop eating crappy food, you'll lose weight. But if you don't start eating something else to replace it, you might get starving. So don't just shut up the backseat voices. You need to have some words to replace it with in your head. I can do this. This is easier than I thought it was going to be. This isn't so bad. I'm going to give it a shot. You know what? I don't feel like doing it, but I'll set my timer for 5 minutes and I'll do 5 minutes. Okay? Stuff like that there. That's why it's so great to write down what your backseat drivers say so that you can start to create like the retort. Does this ever happen to you like in real life? Like somebody says something and then days later you come up with like the snappy comeback? Or you know what I should have said? I should have said this. But it doesn't happen immediately. I'm going to give you share something with you. Your backseat driver voice pretty much says the same thing over and over again. Yeah, okay, Boston Sports Girls knows what I'm talking about. This is a wonderful, the way I coach and the way I'm saying get a 50-cent notebook from Staples. You can pre-plan your snappy comebacks to take the sting, take the power out of what the backseat driver says. And you do that by listening to how they talk and creating a response, and then every time they say something, creating that response so you can even replay that in your brain and rewire your feeling of what happened in the past. Yeah, the George Costanza comeback. Yeah, days later, completely. What we really want is to be able to have that comeback, that snappy comeback at the time that the person says it, so it kind of crosses itself out. It deflates. It takes the energy and the power out of the backseat driver and what they say. And I'll just share this with you too. When you're writing down your backseat driver, how do you know if it's a backseat driver phrase or not? Kind of where in the car. If you're in the driver's seat, you're in the driver's seat. You've got two places the words could be coming from. Backseat driver or next to you in the passenger seat is your co-pilot. Pretty much you can say, is there any fear in this statement? If there's fear in that statement, it's from the backseat. Okay? So what does fear look like? Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I will never get all this clutter dealt with. I'm afraid I'm a bad person because everybody else has their act together and I'm a hot mess clutter-wise and otherwise. I'm afraid it's too late, that I've wasted all those years. Wasted all the years. I'm afraid I will never change and I'm going to die in a hoarder's hovel. I'm afraid to even open the door because people judge me. I'm afraid people are going to judge me because I'm cluttered. Those are just a few things. When you say, where's the fear? Where's the fear? That's the fears in the back seat. But you know what? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? The love is in the front seat with you. The love is sitting right next to you. Now, I will freely admit, I am not a religious person, but I believe that there is some unseen force in the universe that we can't see or smell, or none of those senses can work it, but I know there's something there. Or I choose to believe that, and it makes me feel better. So this is one of the reasons why I call the voice that's of encouragement and love and possibility and courage. Like, Some people, I call it your co-pilot, because I remember once seeing one of those driver's licenses or the license plate that says, God is my co-pilot. So if that helps you to think of it as God, you can think of it as your best friend. You could think of it as your soul, the universe, whatever. Okay? So I just offer to you, good morning, that one persona. Nice to see you. You have a choice. Every day, you have a choice of what voice you listen to. Because the voice you listen to in your head, this is something else I'd also be taking notes on. This is like a note-taking moment. You have a thought in your head. You have a sentence that's running through your head that's almost just like a ticker tape, or just like a typed out on the screen type of thing. It's words on a background. That can be a statement. Now up here, they don't do much. It's just a statement. What gives it its oomph and its feeling is right here, is your nervous system, is your heart. So in your head, you have words. In your heart, you have feelings. And many times, the words in your head can make you feel a feeling. Now, those feelings, then kind of the next level down, is going to be your hands, is what you do when you're feeling a certain way. I did have a wonderful time off the grid. Thank you, that one persona. As Laura Gibbon Voorhees set up thread, when I feel exhausted, I don't feel like moving my hands. Like I'm so tired, and you feel tired, and physically you're tired. I do not move my hands to pick up something and put it back where it belongs. I just leave it be. So there is a ripple. There's a ripple effect from your head down to your heart and out into your hands. With everything, I feel, but at least within the confines of clutter, as I like to share with you, is to remind yourself that if you are not decluttering with your hands, you can be Nancy Drew and problem solve by reversing the process. If I'm not moving my hands to pick up stuff, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? Oh, I'm feeling kind of crappy. Okay, why am I feeling crappy? Oh, here, let me tell you why. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, nobody helps me, like all the thoughts. So the ripple effect goes forward and backward. So I offer to you these concepts. Write these things down. Play around with them. This to me has really helped my life. And so I just want to share it with you. And it's fun to play around with. To say, oh yeah, like I am tired this morning. Oh my gosh, I could beat myself up. But I could say, yeah, I had for the last 3 days, I ate food I don't normally eat. I was staying in a place I don't normally stay. I didn't drink enough water because I didn't have a big glass with me. All sorts of things to understand where I was coming from. Like, how did I get here on the map? Oh, that's why I'm tired? Noted. And again, we start with the physical. What can I do to feel better physically? Well, I got up because I said I'd do this TikTok live, and I love doing them. I'm also doing a YouTube live today. The other handy thing about writing things down, it's like you don't have to keep it in your head. Okay, we got a YouTube live in a couple of hours. And I just got to say, because I realize I've been chatting along right now, and there hasn't been a lot of interaction, which is fine. This is kind of like a refresher. I do TikTok lives and YouTube lives. Pretty much, as I like to say, I do them except for when I don't. And I have TikTok lives and YouTube lives and a notebook party scheduled between today and Tuesday, next Tuesday. Then I'm off the grid again. So if you want to show up, if you like what you're hearing live, I show up live, and there's a TV guide page that's only available on my website to the people in the email group. If you want to join the email group, it's free, it's low key. DestinationDecluttered.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, put your email address, and boom, you're in. Okay? Yay, Echo. Yeah, totally. Notebook party coming up. And so I just offer to you that there are resources if you like what you're hearing live and you like the live interactivity, if it works for you. But there are going to be times, especially this August and even into the fall, I have some travel planned because that's something that's important to me in my life right now, and I'm making it happen because I'm a life coach and I'm life coaching myself to do the things sooner rather than later. As I mentioned, Destination Decluttered YouTube Live. We have one coming up in a couple of hours. You can check the TV guide to see the specific time and translate that to your time zone. But there are also literally by the time I go off the grid on August 6th, there will be over 800 free videos for you to keep you company, for you to listen to and use these skills, to have it in the background. Okay? So I don't feel bad about living my life and doing the travel I do. I feel good because I'm leaving you with resources and I want you to practice this on your own. Okay? So I love it. Yeah, now Mel's getting back to feeling, so getting back to the order of from the crown on down, then your nervous system, then writing down and chunking down. Mel says right off the bat, I forgot to take my Tylenol. Yeah, why am I feeling so crappy? Because I didn't take my meds, Could I feel better? Yeah, probably take my medicine. And probably, again, I'm going to be team water, okay? And not necessarily, sponsored by Brita Filters, but, water. What was I said the other day? Water to me reminds me of like liquid air. It gets oxygen to your system. It lubricates. It's all sorts of good stuff. Now, I love it. Barbara says, I didn't get here till 7:30, but I've made major progress in just those 10 minutes. And she's got 20 more with you. Yeah. So 20 more minutes, 18 more minutes, basically. You could do some decluttering while I am here just chatting with you. Now, one of the things I will point out to you, again, we're going back to the 3 layers of clutter. Surface, stored, sentimental. Okay? Sentimental, do not start with it. Oh, interesting. Good thing I'll write down the thing about Brita. I'll look that up. Thank you, Echo. Yeah, it's liquid air, a new Bethism. Yes, but it's good and good for you. Also, you know what? The interesting thing, let me just kind of riff on this for a bit. We kind of like I was talking, and this is going to get kind of deep, and I don't even know where I'm going to go, but I'm going to start. Earlier, I was talking about kind of unseen forces, God, the spirit, whatever. We believe in oxygen. We would not survive without oxygen and breathing, yet you can never see air. You only see when there's stuff like, suspended in it, snow or smoke. The only time you smell air, it's not the air you smell. It is the stuff that's in the air. The only time you feel it, it's not the air itself. It's the motion behind it. So think about that there are some unseen forces out there that could exist right now, much like air, but because of the limitations of our senses, we just don't tune into it. So to me, I think that's kind of cool. I mean, that's why they say ghosts, we could have the spirits. I'm trying to reach the spirit of John Cunningham. I'm sorry, this is his answering service. Anybody? Monkeys? We could have the spirits of the people that we love who are no longer here hanging around with us and we just don't see them. Could be a thing, people. You never know. But air, we rely on air. Drink some water. And then believe in the unseen. Okay? Now, I know that was kind of a tangent, but it just felt right to bring that up when we were talking about air and water. Decluttering while a live is going on. Decluttering while you're listening to one of my recorded videos on YouTube that are all available to the public for free. See how awesome I am. Surface clutter is pretty easily... Oh, thank you for appreciating my tangent. That was the deep end of the pool. We're swimming over to the shallow end of the pool because the shallow end of the pool for decluttering and for many things is going to be stuff on the surface, very superficial on the surface. So you can listen to me and my words and probably declutter surface stuff, the stuff that you really don't need to think about because you already know the process. Laundry, trash, dishes, wiping down surfaces, stuff like that there. Okay? Um, stored clutter. Stored clutter, sometimes it's good to have some other voices in your head while you're doing that. But sentimental clutter, I want to touch on that for just a minute, because sentimental clutter is the deepest part of the pool. Okay, I have a picture of the pool that I grew up swimming in because I'm suburban, and I picture that deep end, and I was afraid of it because I was afraid that I couldn't swim. I was afraid. Now I'm okay with the deep end. I may not choose to go there, but when I know and I go there, I can survive. I know how to swim. Even if I jump off the high dive and I go way in deep, I hold my breath and I know I will make it to the surface. So sentimental clutter tends to be the clutter that people are the most afraid of. I want to help you not be as afraid of that. Notice the fear of the sentimental. As Ruth Ann just said, sentimental is the hardest. I would offer, Ruth Ann, I could ask you why you think the sentimental is the hardest, and if you wanted to write it in the comments, anybody, why is the sentimental the hardest for you? I have some ideas of my own because I know what makes it difficult for me. I have some ideas when I observe the people in my life and how they deal with sentimental. Yeah. And what I want to offer to you, everybody here. Yes. So Laura says, my daughter got overwhelmed with her bin of sentimental stuff when she was here. Farm Girl is saying sentimental is hard because it brings up so many memories. Yeah, that it's attached to memories and people. Mel says, I might regret getting rid of it later. Yeah, sentimental trips me up, partly the memories, happy and sad. Yeah, and it's letting go of people and places and things. Feeling guilty. Yeah, so notice the overarching thing is a feeling. Sentimental clutter causes you to feel feelings. And sometimes those feelings are good, and sometimes they're bittersweet. Yeah, afraid of change. Look at all the fear of feeling a feeling, the fear of regret, the fear of forgetting, you know? See, Echo, have a good day at work. Being afraid of letting go. Let me reassure you. Okay? Now, overwhelm can be too many feelings. If you're not used to feeling the memories, if you're not prepared to feel it, it can hit you unexpected. Have you ever, does that happen to you? You're like, looking around. All of a sudden you open a box and you're looking for a sweater and you like find something that gets you in, as the kids might have said, in the feels. Okay? What I want you to learn from me, please, slowly stop being afraid of feeling your feelings. You can control the environment so it doesn't wallop you upside the head and in the heart. And practicing decluttering and letting go of things at the superficial or the surface and stored level builds your muscle to be more confident when you're dealing with the sentimental. When you're dealing with the sentimental, so you can feel the overwhelm like Laura Gibbons' daughter did, and then chunk it down. To say, you know what, I'm only going to do this for 5 minutes, then I'm going to put the lid on the tote, and then I'm going to feel good about what I did. I'm going to detach the memories and the people of the memories from the item that probably came from, a factory in China. And I'm going to bring those memories back to my heart. Where's my book? I'm going to write down those memories. I'm going to take a picture of that item so that I have the visual that will trigger the story in my head and heart, but I don't necessarily need to keep the item itself. Or I decide I want to keep it, and I feel good about keeping it right now. Notice that there's ways to calm down your fears so you can move forward through the sentimental. Please do not be afraid of feeling feelings. You don't have to feel them all at once, and it doesn't go on for forever. I have heard anecdotally that your feelings maybe last 90 seconds. And I was in the ocean this week, not too far in because there was jellyfish, but seeing waves and thinking the waves of the ocean as being the way that waves of feeling can come up on you and crash over you, and then they recede. You know? And life is full. I mean, this is how you know you're not a zombie or a robot or AI generated, is because you feel the feelings. Now, here's an interesting one, getting a little bit deeper. Yeah. Are you letting go of the people, places, and things? Or do you just have like a souvenir that reminds you of this? This is a souvenir. It reminds me of when I went to New Orleans a couple of times. So I have souvenirs. I keep stuff. That's when you get into the quality and quantity of items that make you feel good when you're living in your house. Now, the feeling of guilt. Ooh, that's a deep one. You know, I feel guilty getting rid of this because, you know, yeah, and that's why I avoid. Yeah, so notice that. I don't feel like feeling feelings today. Own that. This is not a day for me to get into it. That's okay. There is no timeline on decluttering except for the one that's in your life. Nobody says you have to do any of it. I will share, though, with you that if you want your everyday life to function better and look better, at least start practicing decluttering with the surface clutter. You don't have to worry about, you know, lifting up the 50-pound weights until you've built your strength. Okay? Yeah. Uh-huh. So you can do this, and again, we go back to what we said, a little bit at a time. And Laura Voorhees, I love this because I was going to suggest what you are now learning yourself, because Laura's saying, I'm trying to decide if I should give her a bin when we visit her next month, then she can sort it at will. I guess I should ask first. Would she like it? Now, she may say no. What I would offer to you is, yep, love bears all gifts. I made separate containers for each of my children and let them process it. Big alert here, people. Can I just say something really loud? If you as a parent, if you as a human on the planet right now, if you are struggling with how to deal with sentimental clutter yourself, you probably have not trained your children how to deal with sentimental clutter themselves. So what I highly recommend is practice going through it yourself. Go through the steps, the writing it down, the chunking it down, the doing it a little bit at a time, and then share that process with your children. Okay? Share that process. Now, I would say, Laura Gibbon Voorhees, what I would offer is practice doing some of your own sentimental decluttering. Walk through that process yourself so you know what it feels like, but get through it. And then perhaps what you do is you say to your daughter, once you've done it and you feel, okay, I'm here for you, I walk you through this process, then you learn that you can walk through that stuff and feel the feelings and come out the other side feeling better. Then maybe you say to your daughter, how about this? Would you like to go through it together? Notice if she's feeling overwhelmed, that she's looking at it too big, you want to chunk it down. You can teach her how to chunk it down. You can teach your children how to calm down their nervous systems. You can teach how to quiet down, to see how they feel physically. You can teach the skill of decluttering to them. So you're not just dumping their shit on them and saying, figure it out on your own, like many Gen Xers had done, right? But you are learning a process and you are teaching it to them. So that when you do give them their stuff that you saved for them, they don't go into overwhelm and shutdown. They may temporarily feel overwhelmed, and then they say, wait a minute, I don't want to be overwhelmed anymore. I got this. I can calm down. I can write down. I can chunk down. I can feel these feelings, and it's okay. But it is impossible to teach somebody something that you yourself don't know. So I say, Laura, before you visit her next month, give her the gift of your stories of going through your own sentimental clutter. We are often pointing at other people to tell them to go through their totes, but are we going through ours? Nope. Okay. So, whole bunch of things. All right, Kat Roby got her emails down to 0 and wrote a challenging email for a big issue in the counseling community. Love it. Now she's to the laundry. Good job. Yeah. All righty. Yeah, so Laura, are you surprised if you are struggling with the sentimental that your daughter would be struggling with it as well? I'm here for you, though. That's why I show up in your life. That's why you and I are hanging out together. I can help you walk through that, and it's the same process. It's just in smaller chunks because feeling feelings empties your tank. Okay? Yeah. That one persona says, as a mom of an almost 6-year-old, what are some words you'd recommend using to encourage decluttering habits? He's watching me, but I want to explain too. I would use the following. I would say, kind of like part of what this is, I'm just riffing here, right? This is what we do here. This is what we do. As a grown-up, what you do is you play with your toys and then you put them back so that they're in good condition and they're there when you want to have them. So part of what we do here is we put our stuff away after we've used them. Now, in order to put them away, we need to find a home for them. So what is the home for your toys? Okay, it's, this shelving unit. Okay, well, one of the things we do is we fit stuff into a container and we only keep the amount of stuff that fits into that container. We don't let it overflow. So if we have picked a container for your toys that feels like a good amount, but you've got too many, what we want to do, and this is important, don't start with the phrase, get rid of. I use that phrase a lot, very just lazily when I'm reaching for something in the words in my brain. Sharing your abundance. Now, abundance may be an abstract concept for a 6-year-old, but we're going to share what we no longer need with other people who might enjoy that stuff, who might benefit from it. So you feel like you're not taking something away from somebody, that you have enough. If you have enough, let's choose your favorites. But what are the ones that are not your favorites? Maybe we can let go of. See, notice? I'm correcting myself. It takes practice. Is starting small. Congratulating them when they put away their stuff. Helping to create a home for their toys for when they do it. Allow them to feel their feelings and process them and then have patience with them while they feel that kind of rainbow of feelings. Okay? So that's what I would start with. Yeah. Now, this is great because Mama Pepper is saying, I'm deciding about 2 silvered coffee and tea sets for my grandparents. My descendants don't want them. Mama Pepper, then it's up to you. What do you want to do with them? You can do a number of things with them. But the good news is your descendants have said, no, thank you. So now it's up to you to make a decision. Decluttering is decision making. You may be out of the habit of decision making, saying, what do I want to do with whatever this is? Okay? Yes. Yeah. And Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, she and I can do it when I am there. You could do that. Yeah. Say, and you could do that. I would also let her chunk it down to say we can spend 10 minutes on it, and after 10 minutes, we can stop it if you want. Okay? But it might be fun to walk down memory lane with her about that stuff. Okay? Yeah, now Sally is bringing up a good thing, much like up above, saying what I've realized is what is or was sentimental to me doesn't mean it was to my kids. No, you have your own stuff. Yeah. Yep. And what I want to offer is same thing with me. I know everything in my house means something to me. It means nothing to my nieces and nephews. That's okay. I'm not going to lay a guilt trip on them, right? And I love it. Blood trip reset. It's Leo season. Hope your special day is delightful. You know it's going to be. Yeah. There we go. Christine says, I donated hundreds and hundreds of CDs. I was finally able to let them go and find their new home. Yeah, we're going to find a new home for this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. You will have so much more of a connection to your daughter who is struggling with the sentimental when you yourself walk through the process. Okay? This is why I show up in such alignment with what I offer, because I have done absolutely everything that you guys have said in the comments. I have avoided it. I've ignored it. I've let it pile up. I have felt feelings and didn't want to deal, so I didn't. I felt overwhelmed and I've shut it down, but I've also peeked and opened up a little thing, did a little bit at a time, and gotten better at it. So you can too. All right? So, yeah. Debbie says, at a convention and in a room by myself, I feel so calm with no clutter. I want this feeling at home. Right? If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. You can have it. Write a note to yourself about what it feels like to be in that room. The temperature, the smell, how it looks, how you feel. Write down how you feel and put that as your destination. And when you get home, say, what can I do to get stuff more like that hotel room? Okay? Now, I am about to sign off, you guys. Okay? It's 8:01 Eastern Time. I've been on since 7 a.m. I'm feeling a little bit more awake. I might go back to bed. I might not. I don't know. We'll see what's going on, if the basement guy's going to come today. But what I will offer to you really quickly is, you can do this. Even if you've never decluttered in your life up till now, there is a process you can follow that I walk you through. Okay? And I love it. Barbara's going to finish her job with some upbeat jams, and we'll catch the YouTube. I'm doing a YouTube live similar to this, just different on YouTube in a few hours. If you want to know when that is, you can read Boston Sports Girl's comment Eastern Time, or better yet, get yourself access to the schedule of the YouTube lives and TikTok lives that I'm doing for the next week on destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up for the email group. Pretty easy how to do that. And then you get access to a hidden page of my website that gives you all the information of stuff you want. Alrighty? Yeah, check the secret page. It's fine. I love it. Kat's going to go for a walk. Somebody's going to have breakfast. Start your day a good way, okay? Thank you for showing up and keeping me company. I hope what I shared with you helped. This YouTube live, or excuse me, this TikTok live is recorded and it's going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel by the end of today. So if there's some good stuff that I said but you missed it, you can always rewind it and rewatch it and take notes, okay? You can do this. I know you can. I believe in you, okay? Bye.